If you haven't finished a book in what feels like forever, this is for you. Before I talk about all the habits and all the techniques I use to improve my reading and my duration of reading and my volume of reading, let me just talk about my past with reading and how it has been, how my relationship with reading has been in the past. So you guys can sort of drive some parallels between me and you, and like you can see how it has been with me and like how it's going now. Anyways, the first book which I read completely from start to end, if I can remember correctly, I think it was given by my uncle to me. So basically, on a random day, my uncle came to my house. I don't know for what purpose. He came to our house, and I was just laying down on the bed. He came to our house, and he was like, "Farhan, come here." I was like, "Okay." And I remember he had a red book in his hand, like a quite a small book, like this much, quite a small book, quite thin book, and it was red in color. And I think the title was something around "Who Ate My Cheese?" And I was like, okay, what is this? He was like, this is a book. I was like, okay. And he was like, take this book. It's quite small, and I'll be leaving your house by evening. I think he had some work with my dad. He was like, I will leave your house by evening, and in that time, since it's weekend, you can finish this book. I was like, damn. I was like, okay, I will read it. Obviously, I wasn't interested in that at all because it was times of Clash of Clans, I think COC, and we used to play all these games back then. So I had no interest in reading, but still, I was like, okay, fine, let me just finish this book. I got the book and I started reading it. I think I read few pages, like few initial pages, and I slipped off. uh, I slept off for I think 1 or 2 hours, and then I woke up again. I was like, okay, I still have the book with me. Then I just like read it for some time, and I kind of like got into the story. I was interested in the story, so I kind of finished the whole book in 2 hours. It was not a big book; it was quite a small book, but still, I finished it. The whole book, start to end, without any breaks in between, like without any gap of few days or like few weeks in between. I just finished the book in one go. Anyways, that was my first experience with reading a book, and it was a fictional book, obviously. Anyways, I read the book, but after that, I didn't really read any book for some time, and I think after 1 or 2 years, maybe, I got my own book first time. Like the first book I bought myself, which was not of my school or like a academic textbook, and it was by David Goggins. I think you all have probably read the book so far. I think the name was "You Can't Hurt Me." I think so, yeah. And I read the book, complete book. I read it, and it like really impacted my life back then. But after that, even though I bought a Kindle very soon after that, but for the next 2 3 years, I again didn't read anything. But always, I tried to read. In the last 1 year, I think I have tried to like be a reader or like try to read books at least few times, like 5 or 6 times, and every single time, whenever I try to read books or be consistent with reading, I failed. I failed miserably every single time. And now that I am reading a book, and now that I've finished a book after so long, by the way, this is a book, A Night to Remember by Walter Lord. It's a book about Titanic and the whole scenario that happened that night, the collision with the iceberg, and the whole nightmare that happened. Anyways, so I read this book after so long, even though I was struggling with reading books for the last 2 3 years. And now that I finished a book after so long, I know exactly what was the reason for me to not finish any books in these years. Every single time, whenever I try to read books or try to make a habit of reading, I used to be like, okay, I want to read books, and according to the internet, reading more books means that you are more smarter, you're more intelligent. So I was like, okay, I want to be intelligent, I want to be smart. Let me read one book per week. And I just searched on Google that how much time do you have to like read every single day to finish at least one book in each week. And the answer was roughly 40 to 50 minutes of reading each day. And then you can finish a book in 1 week. I was like, okay, that's my answer. And I was like, I'll read every single day, 50 minutes, even though I had no experience in reading. And obviously, I never could do that thing. I think not even one day I could finish that task of reading 50 minutes or 40 minutes for a day. Yeah, it didn't happen. Of After trying this unrealistic goal for a few times, when I picked this book, I think 3 weeks ago, I was like, let me just make this habit of reading very small. Let me just decrease the volume to the most smallest volume I could imagine. I was like, how can I read this book for the least amount of time each day, so that I can just like read it and finish the task there and then. So I set a goal for myself. I was like, I will read this book at least 2 minutes per day, because 2 minutes for me was a no-brainer. It was like 2 minutes is like nothing, right? I was like, I will pick this book every single day for 2 minutes, and that's it. I will just pick this book, read for 2 minutes, and then just like keep it away, and that will be my goal for each day, and that will like finish my habit of reading every single day. So I can just tick mark on my habits app. What I noticed in the following days was quite interesting. Every single day, when I tried to like read for 2 minutes, it always ended up being at least 10 minutes or 20 minutes, or sometime it even became 25 to 30 minutes, which was like just beyond my imagination. I did that for 2 weeks, and here I was with a book that I finished from start to end without any breaks in between. No days, days off, no weeks off, nothing. I couldn't believe myself. Even though I had knew this technique of having micro habits, and I think it was by the author. What was his name again? By the book's name, I remember. It was Atomic Habit, and the author's name I can't remember. Anyways, I haven't read that book, Atomic Habits, but I somehow kind of incorporated the tips given by the author, that if you want to have a habit in your life, if you want to do something each day for a long time, for a long period of time, you should make that habit or that task very small, like so small that you would feel dumb to not do it every single day. And I kind of did that unconsciously, but even though I was doing that thing unconsciously, it worked really well for me, and I could finish a book. And I finished that book, and immediately after finishing that book, I started with one more book, which I'm reading now. And I feel like I'll go ahead with reading book for a long time now, because now it feels like a habit, like now it feels like that I can do this thing every single day, and I don't feel forced. I don't have to like force myself or push myself to read the book. I don't feel as if I am doing something that's boring, because now it feels a bit more interesting because of the fact that I know that I can finish this book. Now I feel kind of more confident in my ability to read books. And yeah, that was my whole experience with the reading. I hope you got some value. You got some value from this video. I just